y'all, happy Friday. So today I want to do another video and also like text out how I'm supposed to place the mic. The previous video, obviously, I think I've been putting it up too high. Like I usually clip it around here. So the voice is, for some reason, it's kind of, yeah, it's not clear. It's like, it's loud enough, but it's not clear. So I feel like maybe my chain is kind of covered the sound transmission, so I just move it down a little bit. You see it's right here. So we'll see how this videos turned out. And I'm going to work. Got a matcha. It's a Friday and it's 51 degrees currently. It's beautiful and warm. Finally, it's been a very long, dragging, cold winter so far. So I can't wait for the warm weather and above 50 degrees. So, okay. Okay, get out next here. Right. Okay, I was panicking earlier. Like, actually, yesterday, I didn't go to work. I wasn't feeling too well, sure, but it was actually mainly because, like, right before I was supposed to get onto the freeway, and the cars were all packed on there, and nobody is moving. So, and the GPS shows I will be at work 2:15 p.m. when I supposed to be there 1:20 something. So I was like freaking out. There was gotta be a major accident. I won't be able to make it. And because if you're super late, you have a kind of a penalty. So I'd rather call sick to take a lighter penalty versus being like very late. So and then today I just got onto the freeway and I saw the same thing. I was freaked out, like, oh my gosh. But now I'm actually on the freeway. We're pretty much moving slowly, so I'm really hoping a miracle will happen that I'll be there on time. We'll see. Excuse me, because I can't really call out for work again, because we have a limited number of days. So, but it is a reality. Not perfect, but it's a reality. Oh my god. It's really gonna take a miracle for me to get there on time. I will keep you updated. This is not the video I was planning on recording so far. So, so I can't believe there were accidents 2 days in a row. Like, seems like a major accident. Like pretty major accidents. This backed up. I've been driving this route for almost a year and a half to work. This is the first time, like 2 days in a row, it's this bad, So let's see what the GPS say right now. It says 141, so it was saying like 146 earlier. So I guess it's getting better. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why that weather getting warmer somehow accidents happen. Maybe people are just tired of the cold, long winters. Okay. Okay. So the GPS currently shows we'll be there 1:33. Yeah, so still gonna be late a couple minutes if that's true, but there won't be any issues. We have a grace period, so let's see. I'm just getting really like anxious about being late and all that because like I really hate to be late. Um, well, I guess this kind of thing, I'm already early today. I left home actually early, but it's you never know. It's like you can't predict. So do what I can now. And anyways, I think I should start talking about what I have planned for today's video. So I hope my I hope my mic is doing a better job than in the previous video. So it's right here, right here. Oh, excuse me. I think it's allergy. Spring is coming, so. What a video has it been so far. But anyway, so I was thinking about talking about something that pretty much a topic that's been my life, my whole life. Um, so as I was thinking to record this video, I thought, hey, I'm gonna make a video. I'm going to make a title called I was hurting myself for over 30 years without knowing it. And I think that's a pretty accurate title and a very true statement. It's not going to be easy to talk about it, and I don't really think I can thoroughly explain everything and talk everything out in today's video. As you can tell, we had a very rough start already. It was so be patient, everybody. Be patient. Safety first. Yeah. I was just talking to the other drivers. They were like hugging each other for some reason. I don't know what happened. But okay, so yeah, and you might realize, I don't sound too sad or depressed as I approach the topic of hurting myself for over 30 years, because the reason that I can record this video now is because I came out of that state, and I came out, well, I realized that first, and then I came out. So this was just actually fairly recent realizations that I had. It's so funny that a lot of times when we're suffering, one way or the other, we don't really realize that's happening, and sometimes we're hurting ourselves. We didn't know that we were doing it at the time, and thankfully one day we wake up and we realize it, and then we decide to make a change, and your life will be different. At least that's how I feel, how my process in life is going. Oh, good. Right now we're traveling at normal speed, so I think I'm going to make it today. Look, oh, it says 1:27, so it looks like I won't even be late today. So, thank the Lord for this. I was really worried earlier. Thank the Lord. Um, so yeah, so basically this past few years, my whole life has been like that. I was hurting myself, but I didn't know, and I was suffering. I didn't know why, and even as young as, I don't know, preschoolers, like a preschool age, they're very young. Um, I was talking about like um, under 10 years old, I believe, like that young. I remembered I was always this depressed little girl, and I wasn't happy. And I did taste a glimpse of happiness, but it lasts only for a second. And I would return to my usual um, state of being unhappy. That was my whole life, ever since, I don't know, 8 years, 7. Like shortly after I had memory, shortly after I could remember things, you know. So and then I just think about if I have any happy memories, you know, in my life that I could recall, you know, but I couldn't think of any happy memories. Like I just did not growing up as a young person growing up. I tried really hard to recall, but I couldn't think of any like major ones. So now I'm 37 years old, and I went through so many process and so many stuff, and you know, nothing too dramatic, too um, horrifying, nothing really, but it's just the general state of my being was like just miserable and sad, and I I I didn't know I didn't know that was not right, so I was just being like that. I thought that was who I am, you know. So and then later on, I went through this process trying to figure out who had caused it. Um, and my conclusion was that, you know, yeah, there might be unfortunate things happening in my life. Say, my mother left me when I was, what, 2 years old, and you know, growing up without a mother figure was very hard. Um, without a mother figure, really, like truly cared about you and taking care of you, cherish you. So it was hard without that, you know. But then as I grew older, I realized I can't really blame solely on that for who who I am, you know. And it's not going to help me change. So we're currently experiencing a little backup here around the second tunnel. We'll see. Yeah, so like it's hard to. It took me years to gain clarity with this. It's really hard to explain to, but I'm just trying because I don't think I'm the only one. I really believe there are so many others um, are having similar experiences or even worse. You know, I know I'm not the one that suffered the most, and so I wanted to share. You know, maybe someone else will hear it and can somehow, somewhat help them out. Um, because this process, I feel like I'm getting better. So I want to share what I have been doing and how I approach this. And yeah, that is the goal, and my goal of my channel anyways. So let's see. Yeah, it's actually fairly recent, within a year, something like that, I started to realizing that I was actually hurting myself. Me, nobody else is causing my pain. Well, they might triggered some events, but I am the one who decided to remain in that state and experience the pain and suffering. So it's like a state of mind, and our mind controls our being. So, but every one of us, we have the power, really, even though most of the time we don't realize it, we have the power to influence our mind and to change our state of being, um, by directing our mind in a more positive and just favorable way. Um, so so I was hurting myself for over 30 years in multiple ways. So in multiple ways that I did that to myself. So I think one major noticeable way that I hurt myself was to um, how do I say it? I don't want anything sound negative, but it's hard to describe it truthfully without sounding negative, if that makes sense. So, um, okay, let's try this. So basically, I think one of the major ways that I was hurting myself for the past 30 years, over 30 years, was like I wasn't being my true self. You know, um, I was somehow tend to be always reactive. Um, a lot of times, if you are always reactive in everything that happens around you, it's hard to be the true you, because emotions are not necessarily always true. So I know it's probably hard for a young kid to understand this. So it's not fair that I hurt myself by doing that as a very young kid. Um, but for the majority of my young adulthood, and right now as a 37 years old woman, I just really recently realized that I wasn't being truthful to myself. Like I was always kind of trying to uh, be someone I think I should be to fit a certain expectations in the external environment. Although I'm not quite sure what that expectation was, or what kind of external environment I was trying to face against. So um, so yeah, so as you can imagine, there is just there is there's a pressure just right there, just stating that sentence. It doesn't sound natural. It's like there's the forces against each other. It's like not natural. So I was living in a condition like that. So as a result, I wasn't able to truly care for myself. Um, and there's a constant stress that I was allowed, like I allowed to be applied to me. Um, it was pretty confusing because it's pretty much all a lie. It's um, like a trap. something like that. And I couldn't really experience anything. I couldn't really enjoy anything because I was constantly trying to present myself in a hypothetical um, um, to meet a hypothetical expectation of some sort. So I don't know if I'm making myself clear here. I feel like it's kind of pretty confusing what I'm talking about, but I'm really trying my best to be truthful and honest with this topic. So, the first thing, that is basically the root of every other way that I was hurting myself. You know, yeah, that's the central piece and the root of everything else I wasn't doing right that have caused great harm for me. And so I guess I will touch on other pieces that what I did that I realized that's not ideal. But I think right now I just want to move on with continuing. After I explained, I realized that I hurt myself for this long. What am I going to do about it, right? What am I? So, yeah, so after I realized that, I was staying in that state. I was in awe. I was like, wow, this is crazy. And just realizing that is such a liberation. I realized, wow, I was doing that to myself. So just realizing that had helped me with move forward, basically move beyond that. And yeah, so I'm like, okay, so that was bad, and it was not really your fault. You didn't choose that. I mean, you chose what you did, but you didn't know. So, and then I was like, okay, so what am I going to do with it? I was actually just thinking about it on Wednesday while I was at work. So I was there checking prescriptions, and I was like, okay, I need to be more truthful with myself and just be the real me no matter where I am and what I'm doing. And then I was sitting there, I'm like, okay, so that was bad that you were like that in the past, but what matters is that what are you going to do with it, right? Moving forward. So, and then all of a sudden I realized, hey, my my response to that question would be like, I'm going to change. I'm going to stop doing that. So
I-376 west is on the left.
So like, okay, so if you are forcing yourself to um, present in a certain way to meet a certain expectation, then what you can do to reverse that is to um, not imagining there is a certain expectation and just be who you are. That simple, that just very simple realization actually helped so much. Like I feel like I'm able to relax, and being who you are shouldn't be a stressful thing. So, and then I was able to just relax myself and feel a sense of peace and relief. So pretty much for the first time my whole life, we're barely moving for the past 5-10 minutes now. So now the GPS shows I'll be there 1:38. So I'm just hoping after this tunnel stuck in tunnel process, I'm just hoping the rest of the commute will be clear and yeah. But yeah, anyway, so that was my decision regarding what I'm supposed to do after realizing the fact that I was hurting myself for over 30 years. And then going along with um, you know, unrealistic expectations and all that. And I also realized I pretty much care way too much about what other people think about me. And then I realized probably nobody really care about anyone else other than themselves. So you see, it's really a false presumption, you know. So I'm like, and then when I felt that, okay, I should be this way or that way so that I won't offend others. You know, I would act in a way that they like, or you know, at least not offending them. But a lot of times, those are just not really practical approaches because I wouldn't, you know, purposely offend anyone just by my true self, right? Um, and there are rarely cases that I need to actually do something to avoid offending anyone else, and it's actually quite silly to it's very silly now. I realize to tell yourself, hey, sit in a chair in this way or walk in that way, so that others won't be upset with you. So I know it sounds really silly, but those are true. Like I just it's absurd. It's absurd why this was the case. So, and I feel like I really feel like a breath of fresh air in my life for the first time after I decided to make alterations with, you know, many things that I approach in life. So, and it actually makes me a lot happier and yeah, just more relaxed and more happy and or at least normal, you know, a normal state of mind, a state of being, be able to really experience everything, experience life, experience what I do without in a constant fighter and flight mode. Because that was what it was, you know, when you're that was a pretty stressful cover the sun from this side. Well, there was a car caught me suddenly earlier, so and I don't really like driving 2 hours a day. Um, Driving for work, it's a lot. I feel that's why we're moving um, closer to where I work. Hopefully that will happen within the next 2 months. And I've been recording videos of the new house building process in my other videos. So if you're interested, you can check out that in my channel. But looks like we are driving in normal speed. Let's see, that's 139. That's not what I want. So let's see if I can improve the time. Usually after the airport, the traffic amount will be a lot less. So hopefully I can make up the time. Yeah, it looks like we'll be late for sure, but hopefully I won't be too late. Hopefully I'm within the grace period, 10 minutes grace period to still clock in. But yeah, like this, I can't really control it. No, I can. Even if I beat myself up in this situation, which I usually do in the past, I was something that is really out of my control. Something bad happened, and that would literally ruin my whole day, and like even like dragging on the next day. So another piece of that's probably another way that I was hurting myself. Wasn't able to filter out, wasn't able to properly process negative emotions. Um, to be able to identify the cause and filter them out and let go of punishing myself for something that's not really my fault. Even something was my fault, and I'm pretty sure I didn't do it on purpose, then there's no reason to punish yourself by bringing yourself down all the time. So I think I'm going to make it today. It will be really close, but I think I'll be able to make it. And I probably won't make another video in the future on this topic, but I feel like I have shared what I have so far. I will share more as I realize more and as I feel something is more helpful. But for now, I think I've shared everything I want to. And I'm going to focus on driving, and I think I'll be able to make it today. So yeah, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and let me know if you have any questions or just say hi, or so that we can connect on this journey together. And thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day or night. And I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you. Bye.